I suppose there's a silver lining here, isn't there? That in 2008, when President Obama was elected, you could feel the euphoria, even among the press. He doesn't have that image anymore. Some things he said about transparency, about this and about that, just haven't turned out to be true. So is a skeptical press back when it comes to this administration?
I don't know if the press is as skeptical as it has been and should be with President Obama. It is. It always is. It doesn't just hang up its hat at the door and stop working. I will just say this, though, that I think if this story had developed in this way with the previous president, George W. Bush, the press would have been all over this and screaming much earlier.
The most secretive administration ever was one New York Times correspondent's view. Is that true? I mean, you've covered a lot of administrations. What's your view?
Well, as it turns out, it is the most secretive administration ever, because this administration has taken more legal action against leakers and journalists than any administration in the past. It's a total paradox or irony that this president, who came to office promising to be the most transparent president when it comes to public information, has instead become the president who oversees the most restrictive environment in terms of information. What happens when journalists can't get to their sources and when sources can't feel relatively free to speak to journalists is we lose the ability to hold government to account. We lose the ability to hear from the people who actually have information, and multiple people who have information, to get, as journalists, the perspective on a story so we understand how it fits together. This isn't about the sour grapes of a journalist just wanting more access so that he or she can be more famous. Maybe for some. But principally, what this is about is the ability to have the flow of information so that our government and our publicly elected officials can be held to account for what they're doing. They think they've become more transparent and open by having more websites where they can put more information. They think they're more transparent and open by having Google town hall meetings that the president makes himself available in and participates in. They think they're more transparent and open when they have mass emails and push emails that reach out to people. In some ways, that's true. That is more transparent and open than we've had. I can go online and read a bill from the Congress virtually in real time. I couldn't have done that 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Didn't exist. I can go online and I can see the president at work in the White House. Couldn't have done that 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Didn't exist. I can go online and I can read the particulars of Obamacare online from the administration. I can get real good information from NOAA or the Department of Labor or the Census Bureau or anything like that. That's more information than we've ever had from our government. Fair enough. That's different, though, than the kind of information that a reporter necessarily is going to pull out in this kind of accountability reporting, because that's the information the administration doesn't want to share. It's one thing, and it's actually okay in some ways, to criminalize leaking highly sensitive information. It's never okay to criminalize asking the question.
I think that's a very good point.
And that's what I worry about here, is that this dragnet that comes down over reporters for doing their job in this country, you should ask anything you want, you know?
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'm happy to say that.